All right, Dad, we're back again. Been a bit of a while since the last one.
Yeah.
What's been going on with you since we last filmed?
I think the biggest thing that's sort of affected me recently was last week we had, where I work at Southend airport, we had a very dramatic and very fatal aircraft crash. There was an aeroplane rolled over on takeoff and burst into flames on the airfield. Very close to where I work, probably only 500 yards away from where I work, and there was 4 people killed and burned in it. And it was on a Sunday, so we weren't there, fortunately. However, it cast a big shadow over the airfield, and I think one of the main reasons is that I'm an engineer, and in aviation, everybody spends all of their life trying to prevent an accident such as that. You do everything you do every day of your life is all based around the backdrop of preventing or avoiding that sort of accident. So it's your whole fabric of your working life is to avoid it. So when it actually happens, it's quite disruptive. And even to those that I know that are not, I would say, sort of masculine, get on with it, sort of, stiff upper lip types, it still affected them, you can tell, and they've mentioned this. And it's because it affects what you try to do. And of course, one of the things that I found during that process was my faith really clarified how I felt and how I could deal with that sort of situation in my life, because it did affect me quite badly. I still feel it now in my emotions, because it rips your life to bits. It does really, like I say, affect what you always try to avoid. But my faith helped because of my sort of understanding through the scriptures and through discussions that it's not a perfect world. We're not in heaven. And I heard it quite a lot of people that have a difficult faith, or they may be agnostic or atheist or whatever you that say, well, there can't be a God because God wouldn't allow that to happen. God's all powerful. If God's such a powerful thing, then he wouldn't actually allow that to take place. And he wouldn't allow lots of things to take place. But as we know, this isn't heaven. This is a broken world. This is, if you really look at the literacy of the scriptures, it's Adam and Eve broke the world. They were given the Garden of Eden. Human sin took over and broke the world. So we're not in heaven, we're in a broken world. So I think if we understand that, it helps us to not try to second guess God and think what he should do and what we think he should do, which we shouldn't do that at all. We're not equipped for that. But to understand it's a broken world and it's not heaven. We're not living in heaven, not yet anyway. And I think that helps to understand these things that happen. It helps to understand that God's with you, that God's with those people that died, but also just importantly that God's with all the people that were involved in it, the people that have got to move those poor people out of the aeroplane, that have got to find out why the aircraft crashed, that have got to do their security jobs at the airport, that have got to get on with life, that are passengers that have got to get onto other airplanes that have just seen what they've seen. And God's with all those people and trying to help them and look after them. And if we're open to that, more open to that, they'd find more solace and more peace. And it was nice in my faith, or very reassuring in my faith, to know that God was with us during that time, even in this broken world, and helped me through it. And I think that's the biggest thing that's happened to me over the last sort of weeks since we last did the last one.
Well, it was big. It was all over the news.
Well, yeah, aircraft crashes always are spectacular because there's a massive ball of flame, there's a big noise, it's it's a spectacular event. But again, some people say, well, it's 4 people, but probably 20 people died on the roads that day.
Yeah.
But it was 4 people. But it was the spectacular side of it. And I can understand that point of view. There's only 4 people out of many that die in the day. And I might sound like I'm making a big deal out of it, but the reason is because it's close to my heart.
Yeah.
You know, my name is Christopher. It's St. Christopher is the patron saint of travel. I've bought into that because I've been in travel all my life, whether it be in motor vehicles, boats, airplanes, whatever. I've always been in engineering particularly and in travel. And I've always taken the view that St. Christopher's a patron saint of travel, and I want to keep, and he kept Jesus safe, carried him over the river.
Yep.
And I want to keep people safe. And every week I pray a special prayer on Sunday that I ask God to help me make the right decisions in my life and in my work that keep people safe in flying. So yeah, it's a big deal for me because it's so close to home. Yeah. And it happened 500 yards away from where I work.
Yeah.
And I saw all the recovery procedures. I saw all the people on the airfield going past, and it was just so close to home. So yeah, it is one accident out of many, but it affected me particularly quite a lot.